Are you ready to take the oath of office? Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as President of the Virginia State Bar,
as President of the Virginia State Bar,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
I would like to thank Justice Goodwin. We had planned earlier to wear seersucker suits together, but my wife said no. But we do have a lot in common. We both went to UVA Law, although he was a little bit in front of me. We both went to a very old college that start with the letters H-A, and one of us went to Harvard. Go Crimson. So it's Friday the 13th. Kevin Martingayle gets sworn in. The Chief Justice announces her resignation. What could possibly go wrong? When I got married to my wonderful bride in 1992, it was a great time, but there were two things that did not happen that I want to tell you about. There were two things that did not get said. One of them is that we did not have the vow that included obey. And that's because she said there's not a chance, and I said because I'm not able. And the other one is that we didn't ask anybody in the audience if they could think of any good reason why this should not happen. And that's because I had a lot of friends in attendance, and I was afraid they'd start giving her reasons why this was going to be a big mistake. And so Judge Ted Hansen from Virginia Beach called me up and wanted to know what dressy casual was. And I didn't really know, so I had to ask. And then in my discussion with him, I said, well, I was thinking about actually getting up and saying, if anybody can think of any good reason why I should not be president of the bar, go ahead and form a line to the to my right. And he said, I don't recommend it. And I said, well, then I might give you a chance to make some remarks, Judge. And he said, I don't recommend that either. And I said, well, I might just see if anybody wants to say anything. He said, just, say your piece and then sit down. So I'm going to try to do that. Jackson, my 12-year-old, right there, he asked me, what are you going to talk about when you get up in front of everybody? Are you going to talk about how this, means a lot to you and a bunch of stupid stuff like that? And I said, I don't know, that's a pretty good question. And the answer is yes, Jackson, I'm going to talk about a bunch of stupid stuff like that. Well, that means something to me. I would like to thank my family first. Lizzie means the world to me and has blessed me with 3 wonderful children who are here, Harrison, Doria, and Jackson. I've got a lot of family here, too many to call out by name, but I really appreciate everybody being here for this huge moment in my life, and thank you so much. I've got a lot of good friends here, including the best man from my wedding, Michael Brost, an ER doctor friend who has bailed me out many times, and I won't tell you those stories, my roommate from law school, the president of the Beach Bar Association, my buddy David Pierce, who I've wrestled too many times and we swore it off, so many friends in this room, and of course from my law firm, I've got, I'm missing my law partner Bill Bischoff, who has a son who's graduating and going off to Cornell where I didn't bother applying. So he's having a party there, which, by the way, I'm going to tell you the address, and we're going to crash that later. But I've got Ryan Ferguson, and I've got Tarek, and I've got the staff, and including my assistant, Katie Seabright, who's been working with me for over 20 years and keeps everything straight when I think that I'm losing my mind. Thank you, Katie. I think we all know how the engine actually runs in every law firm, and thank you. I want to thank a few of the people who have gone in front of me, in particular Irv Blank, who swore when he stood up here several years ago that he was just going to keep the train on the tracks, not rock the boat, and everything was going to be smooth sailing. Irv, I'm going to follow your lead. I just hope it actually is smooth sailing. Many other presidents, George Shanks, who gave me some great advice along the way, Dave Harless, Sharon Nelson, so many presidents have contacted me to give me some ideas, things to do, things not to do, and one of the chief ones being don't upset Karen. So Karen Gould, I'm going to try my best, but I'm not taking the vow of obey. I'm still not going to do it, but I'm going to try hard. I want to thank the Attorney General for being here tonight, Congressman Bobby Scott. There are a lot of dignitaries here, and I want to recognize them. The justices of the Virginia Supreme Court, the judges of the Court of Appeals, the other judges in the room, I so appreciate what you do. And I'm going to talk in a moment about why I think that's so important. And now I'm going to get into the sort of serious part. And Tracy Giles, I was telling him about the quote from Jackson, and I said how he asked me if I was going to talk about what this means to me and a bunch of stupid stuff like that. And Tracy had the perfect reply to that. And he said, no, I'm going to talk about why it matters to Jackson and what's going to matter to people like Jackson. And so here goes the serious part, and it won't be long. In 1962, in a case called N. Ray McConnell, the United States Supreme Court said the following: an independent judiciary and a vigorous independent bar are both indispensable parts of our system of justice. I love that quote. And what the case was about was there was a situation in a trial court where a trial judge held a lawyer in summary contempt who was arguing a case on behalf of his client. And under those facts, the U.S. Supreme Court said, no, it was inappropriate. Shouldn't have done it in that situation. So it was a discussion about the push and pull that goes on in a courtroom between judges and lawyers. And that goes on, obviously, all the time. But it's an interesting quote to me for this reason. Over 50 years ago, when the court said that statement, there was an assumption. Listen to it carefully. An independent judiciary and a vigorous independent bar are both indispensable parts of our system of justice. Indispensable parts, right? The assumption is that the system of justice itself is indispensable. They didn't even need to say that, right? Well, does everybody still think that the entire world believes that and respects that? I have my concerns. We have major funding problems in clerks' offices, with judicial vacancies. Many things go on that impair our ability to dispense timely justice. And that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And it's a problem elsewhere in the country. In the run-up to being president, I got to be president-elect and go to a lot of different meetings, ABA meetings, Southern Conference of Bar Presidents, the National Conference of Bar Presidents, and I found out that as rough as we sometimes think we have it here in Virginia, it's a lot worse elsewhere. And so we have to prevent sliding in the wrong direction with regard to our branch of government. And so what that requires of us is that we take action. We have to do something about it. And so I have some simple solutions. There's no particular formula to this. One, work with the other two branches of government. I got to make some appointments to some various committees and so forth in the State Bar, so I look for people who are in the other two branches to bring them in. And I want to improve the dialogue with the other two branches of government, because that's going to be critical. It's going to be critical to making sure that we do things right and that we're successful. I think that we all need to speak publicly and frequently. We can't sit back and complain. We have to actually do things. We have to participate. We're in a participatory representative democracy. The one way to make sure that you're unsuccessful is not to enter the game. You can't win if you don't play. So I'm encouraging all of you to do something. Success is a simple formula. It's what happens when talent combined with opportunity is combined with effort. The people in this room and the members of the Virginia State Bar have plenty of talent, plenty of opportunity. And so the question is, will we put forth the effort? I will. More than 25 years ago, I came to Virginia Beach from Richmond as a lifeguard. And no, I'm not going to tell lifeguard stories, so you can just relax over there, Katie and Corey and other people at the table. But I came here as a lifeguard, and I tell you what was so fun about that job. It was like I got to be an ambassador and make people happy, and occasionally yank somebody out of the water who needed it. And then I went to law school, and what an eye-opener that was. We deal with conflict, and it's hard to manage that professionally, and it's hard not to let that consume you. And so one of the things we have to do, I think, is we have to find ways to be problem solvers and not let the conflict eat us up and change us and make us cynical and just mean. We have to find ways to take care of the problems that our clients have. Many, many years ago, Thomas Jefferson said this: "The boisterous sea of liberty is never without a wave." The boisterous sea of liberty is never without a wave. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am really looking forward to swimming in that boisterous sea with you and for you, and I will do my best. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now it is my distinct privilege and pleasure to present the gavel of appreciation to Sharon Nelson. I've had the opportunity in the last year to travel to Chicago twice, San Francisco, Oklahoma City, Montana, Paris, and a bunch of other places with Sharon and with John. And if there is ever someone who is eternally optimistic, who always has a smile, always has something to say, that even when she's correcting your behavior, she manages to say it really nicely. Her gentle suggestions are always extremely helpful. So, Sharon, on behalf of the Virginia State Bar, I would like to present the gavel of appreciation to you. Thank you for a job not just well done, excellently done. Thank you.
I can't